The hypercar arena is never going to be that densely populated. These machines are the preserve of the rich and famous, sports stars, rock stars, and the odd multi-billionaire. These cars are insanely fast and insanely expensive. And today is no exception. Today, we're telling you all about the Lotus Evija. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Martin Lee. If you like the channel, please make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a show. Lotus have a long and illustrious history stretching back more than 70 years. They've won Formula One World Championships, made stunning road cars like the Elise, been in Bond films, TV series like The Avengers, and movies like Pretty Woman. And over the last few decades, there have been some turbulent times for Lotus, and ownership has changed hands a few times. They are now owned by the Chinese giant Geely, and they're really stirring up the hypercar pot with their latest offering. This is the all-electric Evija. It was no surprise then that at the Guangzhou Auto Show, the stage was set for Lotus's reveal of the car back in 2019. So let's talk about the design and the styling. Where do we start? I mean, just look at the thing. Okay, maybe we'll take a few moments just to stare. Wow. Alright, enough ogling now. The Evija looks like it was born in the wind tunnel but raised in a fashion house. The lower part of the front end is sharp to split the air, but from the moment you pass that point, everything becomes swoopy lines and curves. Thanks to the different makeup of this car, being electric as opposed to pistons, Lotus have been able to set it up differently. Although the battery pack takes up some of the space traditionally kept for the engine, they're able to use the extra bits of space to create better aerodynamics. Although perhaps not obvious at first, on second look, you notice there's almost nothing extruding on the exterior. What do I mean by that? Well, door handles, wing mirrors, wipers, they're all recessed or completely done away with. What you have as a result is a car that looks as flush as you can get. In terms of styling, well, it's sleek, and I think it's so beautiful. You get into the car through its two dihedral doors. Now inside, the car isn't quite as sleek and swoopy as the outside, but that's not to say it's not stunning, it's just different. There's a very busy racing style steering wheel. Now the predominant feature being that red mode controller that allows you to choose from 5 different settings, things like range or tour or track. In contrast, the rest of the interior is quite minimalist, and I think I like that contrast. The attention paid to aerodynamics is obvious. Even at first glance, the car sits incredibly low, occupying as little resistance to the air it'll be passing through as possible, which means it's going to be passing through the air quickly. When you look at the rear of the car, you can see the most obvious sign. Those 2 holes piercing each rear quarter actually have a name. They're called Venturi tunnels. And what they do is optimize the flow of air, not just around, but through the car. And this is crucial in the Lotus Evija, especially considering how the car is optimized for acceleration and performance, particularly at higher speeds. It creates a porous effect, allowing the car to avoid some of that pressure that builds up behind and then produces drag. Now for the part we've all been waiting for, performance. Stick around, folks. This is going to get tasty. The Lotus Evija has a whopping 368 kilowatt motor. That's 500 PS, more than a BMW M3. And hang on, if I just check my notes here. Yeah, that's on each wheel. So it's 500 PS on every corner of the car, enough to make you dizzy. A motor on each wheel allowing for phenomenal torque vectoring and power distribution to carefully control where the power is being put down. In total, the car puts out what is frankly a mind-boggling 1,470 kilowatts, or 2,000 PS, and 1,700 Newton meters of torque. So how fast is the car? Well, Here's where it gets kind of interesting actually. If you're a subscriber to the channel, maybe you saw our video recently on another electric hypercar. It's called the Pininfarina Battista, which has similar horsepower and similar torque. Now Lotus are setting their car up to do a different job. Look, it's still very fast. 0 to 62 miles an hour, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. It'll do that in around 3 seconds or less. But the Evija is set up for a different purpose. Not for getting to 100 kilometers an hour, but for getting to 300, which it'll do in less than 9 seconds. It's all about high-end acceleration, and it's where this car is almost unique. 100 to 200 kilometers an hour, less than 3 seconds. 200 to 300 kilometers an hour, less than 4 seconds. And it'll go on to a top speed of over 320 k's. That's 200 miles an hour. Part of the reason the car is so fast is thanks to a carbon fiber monocoque chassis that helps keep the overall weight of the car to 1,680 kilograms, although that's nearly a ton heavier than the original Elise. For an EV, that's lightweight territory. Even at that relatively light weight, the Evija will really put its Pirelli Trofeo R tyres to the test. They coat 20-inch rims on the front and 21s on the back. Okay, a bit like the Evija on an autobahn, we need to slow down. Let's look at the battery that's packed into the car. This is where it won't beat other cars in terms of the overall stat. Unlike the Battista, Lotus are going for a small battery, well, relatively small battery. It'll run off a 70 kilowatt hour capacity. To give you a perspective, an everyday family car like the Hyundai Kona has 64 kilowatt hours. In terms of range, in a car like this, well, obviously, it depends how you drive it. Repeated launches are going to burn through the battery pretty quickly, but if you drive the car in a more conservative way, it'll achieve a range of about 345 kilometers. It would be nice to know what the real-world range is, but this isn't a real-world car. And what about charging? Lotus say the battery can actually take a peak charge rate of 800 kilowatts. Considering that we give so much praise to the likes of Taycan for charging at 270 kilowatts, that figure's astonishing. Although you can find chargers that will go up to 350, but much more? Well, there's none that I know about. Let's talk price and delivery. Like we said in our Battista video, if you have to ask the price, you probably can't afford it. Lotus will be making 130 of these, so even if you do have the £2 million spare that you'd need, you've also got to be lucky to get one. Although we're living in disrupted times right now, Lotus insist Evija production will start sometime in 2021. Oh, and just in case you were thinking about raiding the piggy bank to put a deposit down and then save up the rest, the deposit alone is 250 grand. So Lotus see the Evija as a halo car for the brand. I see it as a halo car for the entire automotive world. It's a pathway to their future. Their CEO, on launching the car, said they want to re-establish Lotus in the hearts and minds of real sports car fans on a global stage. Well, the stunning Evija has done the trick for me. Thank you so much for watching today. What do you think of the car? Let us know in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. If you had the money, what would you buy? This or something else? Let us know what you think about the styling. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up so we know to make more just like it. And we'll see you on the next one.